Have you ever just stared at a website and wondered, how in the world is that thing actually put together? Well, in the next few minutes, we're going to give you the blueprint. We're going to break down how every single website is built, right from the ground up. So let's just jump right in with that big question. When you type an address into your browser and hit enter, what are you really looking at? It feels like magic, right? But it's not magic at all. It's really just a combination of a few core ingredients working together perfectly. Okay, so to really get how this all works, we need to start with the part that you can actually see and touch. This is what we call the front end, and it's literally everything that shows up in your browser. All the text, the images, the buttons. It's the visual side of the web. See, pretty much every website is split into two parts. You've got the front end, which is what we're focused on, and then there's the back end. You can think of the back end as kind of like the engine room of a ship, you know? It's all behind the scenes, storing the data and making sure things run smoothly. But the front end, the part you actually see and click on, is built using just 3 core languages. And that's what brings us to what I like to call the front-end trinity. These 3 languages, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, are the foundation of every single web page on the internet. I'm serious. From a simple little blog to a massive app like Google Maps, it all starts right here. If you can understand what these 3 do, you can understand the web. All right, first up, we've got HTML. Its job is super simple, but also super important. It provides the structure. HTML is what you use to put all the raw building blocks onto the page. We're talking text, images, links, all that stuff. It is the absolute skeleton of any website. Okay, so if HTML is a skeleton, what's next? Well, that's CSS. CSS is all about making things look good. That's its only job, really. It handles the colors, the fonts, the spacing, all the visual flair that takes a website from a plain, boring document to a beautiful design. And the final piece of our trinity is JavaScript. Now, this is where the magic really seems to happen. This is the language that brings a website to life. It's what adds all the functionality and interactivity. You know when you click a button and something happens, or you see a cool animation? Yep, that's JavaScript at work. So let's just do a quick recap here, because this is key. HTML gives you the structure, the bones. CSS handles the presentation, how it all looks. And JavaScript powers the behavior, what the site actually does. Each one has its own very distinct and very crucial job. You know what? To make this all stick, let's use a really simple analogy. Think about building a website exactly like you would build a house. Okay, so let's walk through this. First, you got to build the frame of the house, right? The foundation, the walls, the roof. That's your HTML. It's the raw structure. Then you get to the fun part, the decor, the paint color, the style of the windows, the tiles on the floor. That's your CSS. It's what makes the house look nice. But a pretty house isn't much use if the lights don't turn on. And that's where JavaScript comes in. It's the utilities, the plumbing, the electricity that actually make the house functional. All right, so we've got our blueprint. Now, let's apply it to something real, something you probably see 100 times a day. We're going to deconstruct a simple tweet and see these 3 languages in action. So step 1 is always HTML. You're just throwing all the raw pieces onto the page. A spot for the user's picture, the text for their name, the main message, and those 3 little icons at the bottom. And at this stage, it's just a raw, jumbled list of stuff. It would look really plain and honestly pretty ugly. Then CSS swoops in to save the day. It takes that raw HTML mess and starts styling everything. It says, okay, let's make that user's image round, let's make their name bold, let's add some breathing room around the text, and let's color those icons. This step is what transforms that plain structure into the clean tweet design we all recognize. And finally, JavaScript adds the behavior. I mean, think about it. What happens when you actually click that like button? It has to turn red and the count has to go up, right? That action, that interactivity, that's powered entirely by JavaScript. Whether you're looking at a simple blog or a massive web application, it all comes down to that same exact blueprint. HTML for the structure, CSS for the style, and JavaScript for the behavior. You now have the mental model to see how it all fits together. I promise the next time you're browsing the web, you're not going to see it the same way. You'll see the skeleton, you'll see the design, and you'll see the interactions behind it all, which of course leads to one final thought. Now that you have the blueprint, what will you build?